Hi everybody, Julie Sharamito here with JS Mortgages at the Mortgage Advisors for part 4 of your psychology series. Again, not a trained psychologist. However, I wanted to continue our conversation about all of the stuff that's been happening with interest rates. We've talked about the psychology of inflation and really how consumer behavior drives inflation more so than anything, and that the Bank of Canada's increases are really looking to keep the trust of the Canadian population that they can control inflation. So they're kind of showing their muscles. It's all how all of these things connect together. So they're not just these on paper, numbers that we're watching fluctuate up and down. We actually have control over them. But the other part of this psychology component is how we feel when we buy a home and the home depreciates in value, not because we're selling it, but because our neighbor's home is potentially selling for less than what we paid for ours. And if you bought in February of this past year, 2020, and you're now looking to sell in a really short order, that may become a tangible loss. And that's the fear that we have. We see it on paper. Same thing when we watch our investments and they dip. So if you are looking at the potential value of your home having come down since you purchased it at this most recent peak, and you don't need to sell, the key thing is try not to think about it. And I know that that's easier said than done, which is why I'm doing this series. But paper losses and paper gains are just that. They are not something that has been realized. And if history is any predictor of the future, which we know it has been, then there have been dips in the past in real estate prices for various reasons, recessions, a whole host of other things that are different than what's happening right now. But those have typically lasted around 7 years, and not in every marketplace. We know that there's certain pockets that's not true for, and it's not true for everybody's home. But it does recover, right? The real estate prices historically have come down a little bit, gone up, come down a little bit, gone up, and there's been overall an increase. So hold on to your place, ride out the storm, know that if it's a home you're living in and you don't need to get rid of it, and most of us buy homes that we're going to live in and we typically see ourselves in them for 5, 7, 10 years. It's not usually a 1-year thing. Again, always unique circumstances. But if you are just seeing a paper loss, not a realized loss on your home's value, on your investments, on anything, don't panic. Do your best to remind yourself that this will recover, because it has in the past. We know there will be another peak. That's how it goes. And maybe now's the time to be buying. Maybe, we look at everything being on sale, essentially. So don't want to propagate inflation by consumerism increases, but just food for thought. Anyways, if you have any questions, you know where to reach me.